And happy Saturday morning, everyone. Well, afternoon now. I got to get my time straight. We normally start at 11. We're a little bit later this time. But good news is my wife is actually coming home from the hospital tomorrow after 18, 19 days. It's like, wow. She's been in there for quite a bit. But she is coming home tomorrow, so look forward to that. I know she is anxious for Thanksgiving dinner. That's all she's been talking about. Of course, in the hospital, being on clear liquids and everything. And it's like, yeah, you want food. I've been there before. You definitely want food. And that's all they show on TV is food commercials. And it's the worst. But like I said, she'll be home tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And today we have Collector's Maze with us, which does a lot of great work for children by putting books in their hands. And I'm going to let him explain a little bit about what Collector's Maze is and how it works. So it's on you.
Well, hi. I appreciate you guys having me for sure. Getting any bit of notice as far as who we are and what we do is always very much appreciated. Collector's Maze is we are a Comic-Con event or kind of Comic-Con convention online experience. What we do is we do a lot of contacts with artists, crafters, cosplayers, writers, and we promote them. We reach out and we ask if they'd like to be part of roughly our community on our website. Gather some information about them and be able to promote them on. So where anybody that visits our site is roughly just more eyes out there to see their incredible work. We do a bunch of interviews with comic creators, celebrities, cosplayers, pretty much everybody we promote. We try to also follow up with an interview to roughly kind of get that extra experience of getting to know them more. So it's more verbal rather than just a small written paragraph about their work. We actually kind of dive a little bit more into their details and stuff. We have some comic review people that like to submit some stuff in. One of our favorite pages for us is the kids page. We get a lot of kids with parent consent and everything. Usually a lot of the people we've met in person to fill out almost like a comic layout or even just a regular piece of paper, and they do artwork. They submit any kind of pictures that the kids have drawn, and we post that up on our site. So the kids actually get to see their work, whichever style it is, clay, picture, drawing, whatever the case may be, any kind of their artwork that they're able to do and submit. We put up on the website, and then it's kind of like featured for a week. And then after that, they still stay on the site because we have a nice little, what do you want to call it? Slideshow down at the bottom that they'll always be part of the website. So their work will always be up there for as long as we, of course, have the site going. But we also get kids comic reviews. So we have kids submitting in their views on the comics that they've read. Also, we had some game reviews from kids and everything else. And another one of our big points, like we were discussing a while ago, is our big book drive. It's an annual, all year round, book drive that we gather books from donations, stuff that we've had around because I come from having 5 kids in my household. And so there's a lot of reading material that's in our house. We take any of these books and then we find families and kids that just love to read and just don't have the means to get them, to either purchase them or just find what they're after or whatever. And so we take these requests, and we've also done some just live setup events. And as long as we get the kind of the interest levels and stuff, we try to make packages and we ship them out to families across the nation. We've sent out to some schools, definitely some families kind of across the states here in the U.S. And then our live events have been great because we've had literally bags and bags and boxes handed out to families with 1, 2, multiple kids in their household that just love to read. And I mean, they're just seeing their faces and lighting up when they're going through, and you even see the parents kind of hitting back on a little bit of nostalgia on some of the titles that we've had available. Has just been great. There's been some local kind of like reading hour places that have come in and they've picked up some books. There's also I remember there was a lady that came and picked up. They have those little like leave a book setups around neighborhoods and stuff, like the little book in a box kind of thing. She took some of those and asked if it was okay to take those, and it's like, yes, absolutely. She's taken a few boxes. We've had thousands upon thousands of books that we're literally able to hand out to all these great families and kids to just give them material to read. So
now, one of the things that we were also talking about earlier, and I think a lot of people might want to know this, is where are y'all located at also?
So we're our main base, if you want to call it, is out of Wichita, Kansas. Pretty much we're within the area per se. So our community here is actually pretty strong for the great people that we've been able to work with and collaborate and kind of help build on what we do and stuff. And
with all that you're doing, is like, what kind of sponsors do you get? Do you have like authors who sponsor or publicists that sponsor? I don't think publication. Amy, my words are getting twisted here.
Oh, Greg, you've had some crazy times. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I think one of the questions Greg is meaning to ask, which is not coming out of his mouth at all, like this has nothing to do with it, but I would like to know kind of the background about how you guys got started and how you had the drive going through this. So everybody listening, I have laryngitis. That's just why I sound like an annoying dead fish. Don't send me hate mail, okay? Like, just don't do it. I don't enjoy it. Don't do it, okay? Anything, any other time. Now, if it was 5 o'clock somewhere, I would be drinking, but, alcohol kills everything at some point, right? I mean, it's bound to help me at some point, I'm just saying. Anyways, I would like to know, since Greg's having such a hard time speaking, how did Collector's Maze kind of come about and get started, and how long have you guys been doing this?
Well, I've fully claimed to be a geek my whole life. So, so going through and actually finally attending conventions really started when our local one that's actually going on this weekend is the AirCap Comic Con here in Wichita, Kansas, held by Don and Drew. Great guys. They started up with a small, it was called the Extension Building. And it was just me and my daughter at the time. And we ended up going to the very first one they had at that Extension Building. And my love of geek just exploded at that point, because it was just like everything on the comic side, getting introduced to cosplay at that time because my daughter wanted to dress up. So we made her a Storm outfit from the X-Men with lightning gloves and everything else, and a light up belt. Is actually really cool.
Nice. How long did that take? I don't see very many Storms, so that's awesome.
Not as long as you think, mostly because my side of it was more on the electrical side, while we had a good friend of ours help with the sewing of kind of like the stitch work for the cape and stuff like that. And then my daughter hated the wig. She never wanted to do wigs after that again. But yeah, just the regular craft of it, I would say probably just a few days worth, honestly. Because we just kind of whipped up some, like, you can tell where the good cosplayers are on their craft when they're
Mhm.
using like the Eva foam and they're spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this stuff. Well, we are definitely on the lower budget end of that. So, but the fun of it was definitely the electrical part. She could flip a switch and it looked like she had lightning coming out of her hands because we had LEDs in the gloves and stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's-
I'm
Yeah.
always down for that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We had a lot of fun just crafting it. Because it was their first convention, they threw kind of like everybody that was there to cosplay for the contest, because they did have a contest there. They threw everybody into it. Well, you know, you have some of these, you had like the late teens into adults that had like the high craft in.
Mhm.
So what was really cool about Dawn and them is that they actually created a younger kids section and said, you know what, hey, we'll kind of split this up a little bit on the prize deal. So she was the only kid at that point. So she actually won per se that division and got to go pick out a really cool graphic novel from them. And she loved it, because we were, again, just getting into more comics for her, but you know, she got to pick out a Storm book. Like instantly she saw Storm on the cover and goes, I want this one. So
I love it.
it started a huge bug for us. I mean, we started going to AirCap every year, and then our friends end up going to the Planet Comic Con up in Kansas City. And so as soon as they came back, you know, we're like, okay, cool. You know, we got to go hit that one soon. Well, funny enough, while they went to the Comic Con in Kansas City, I took my daughter out by where my mom lives out in New Hampshire to Boston Comic Con, and we went all out and got to meet Stan Lee. And at that point, it was like, okay, now we really got the bug. It's just like we can meet, take pictures with, and everything else. At that time, you know, you're talking. They shared 100 years between each other. So I'm trying to remember how old Stan Lee would have been just recently because of his passing and everything. But I know when we went, between my daughter's age and his age was 100 years.
Wow.
So it's been a little bit, but to sit, you know, stand there, talk to him, and Boston's amazing by all means for the convention. But I mean, going to Kansas City locally and seeing their layout is just phenomenal. You know, we've gone years on end for this now. But pretty much the convention scene really pushed for us. It was hitting pretty hard. And it came to this last year. I was like, you know, I've got all these great people that I would love to see and talk to, and just kind of spread my connections on the geek community a little bit further. So it was last year's February, so 2020 in February, I started to sit down and I was like, okay, who of my friends would be interested in creating a website and getting, you know, doing interviews or doing, you know, creating a YouTube channel and just talking geek roughly at this point, you know, just who would be interested. And I had a few really good friends that knew, you know, some of the web design stuff that we've used, and a lot of course, interest of just getting to talk to celebrities and, you know, comic creators about their craft. So, so I started last February, and it took off like in an instant. And of course, it's weird because, you know, you think COVID wise, right? You know, everybody started staying home. Well, you know, I started this in February, not knowing, of course, what the future is going to hold. And then I think once that hit, that really kind of helped us in a little bit, not in the way we, you know, wanted it to be like for everybody community wise,
Right.
but for just being an online convention really helped because our reach outs to get interviews became a little bit more, as you would say, readily available because no one was going anywhere.
Right.
So to reach out to certain people and be like, hey, can we get, you know, 30 minutes, an hour to talk with you and to talk about what you do and everything else? And they're like, absolutely. It's like, oh my gosh, hold on, what? So I think just the the aspect of getting an at-home basis and still getting to highlight people that, you know, hadn't been able to go out and do cosplays. And they've been literally working on their work for so long to find out the convention, you know, come October, November was going to get canceled. They had all this work put in, and while they're out there taking pictures and stuff. And I'm like, hey, you know, we would love to showcase your work. And, you know, finding all these crafters, and we are searching everywhere, and always constantly finding people through, you know, Reddit, Kickstarter. We've got really good connections and people we talk to through like Scout Comics, which we love talking to them all the time. So we've got really cool comic creators we come across all the time. On the independent side, for sure, we artists, writers, you know, like I said, cosplayers. We actually just found a crafter that does crochet and does their whole entire cosplay in crochet. And
Wow.
yeah, like I came across, and it was a full Anna from Frozen crochet on every single piece.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. She must work on that all
Yep.
year. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
It was like broken down on her pictures of like how many hours it took to do this, and I mean, the first piece on a skirt was like 91 hours. It's like, whoa, okay.
Oh my gosh.
So-
You know, I don't have the time, but mostly the patience to do that. You know, and you know, within like 30 minutes, if it's not working, you know, I'm the kind of person I got to walk away and come back, you know?
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, 91 hours on just like one section. Like,
Right.
oh my gosh, like that makes my head hurt. Like, oh
I'd be on one stitch and say, okay, what else is there to do?
this is not working. Oh my gosh, you know, like, oh, but you know, I think that's super creative though. Like, I don't like the Storm outfit that you did for your daughter. I have yet to see a Storm cosplay. Like, that's amazing. And then the whole cosplay being crocheted. I mean, it seems like you encountered or come across like super creative and just amazing people. And me and Greg are like, we are proud to fly our geek and nerd flag. Okay. So it is always welcome here on the show anytime. But man, I mean, just 91 hours, Greg, man, like I don't even know. I'm not patient enough. And I have two kids that are 13 months apart, 2 and 1. So maybe that's why I'm not patient enough. But it hurts me to think about how patient that person is. They're probably a saint, you know, like just to talk to. And you're just like, man, you are the most patient person in the whole world. We probably should all talk to them and get, you know, positive vibes from them. Maybe it'll rub off on me being more patient in life. Man, that's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Now all I've heard so far is a lot of the stuff that you do is virtual or online.
Mhm.
Are you gonna eventually get a venue where you set up somewhere, or are you just gonna keep it online for your area?
Well, so we've been really honored to have Dominic Pace actually come through Wichita. He was doing a huge promotional tour of this character Gecko from the Mandalorian TV series on Disney Plus. And I had reached out when I found out he was going through this tour, and we connected up, and he has now actually been through our venue through a good friend of ours venue, Prairie Dog Comics here in Wichita. We've actually been set up there twice with him now, because he came this last year in 2020, and then he just recently came again this year. So it wasn't like us per se sponsoring, it was just us providing him a venue at that point to help promote. So it was kind of a nice small collaboration per se, if you want to think about it. And I getting to talk with him all the time now is just awesome, because he's just everywhere. He's been doing a bunch of his announcements on the work he's been doing. We've became really good friends with Daniel Pesina, the original Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Johnny Cage from the original Mortal Kombat arcade games. And he he's such a great guy. Like, I mean, him and I just chit chatting back and forth has been such a pleasure. We reached out and got an interview with him this last year in 2020 that it was fun, just to get to know about him and learn more about him. But that contact kept us in more, communication. And we actually just had him out. We set up 3 local venues because we're not a storefront, we're not here for any of that. We are, as for the most part, a virtual experience, so we don't have any buildings. So we teamed up with Prairie Dog Comics again, Wizards Asylum, and then Headshots Bar and Grill here in Wichita. And we did a 3-day event with Daniel Pesina over the release of the new Mortal Kombat movie that came out on HBO Max. And so we got a really cool experience by dining with him and doing signatures and stuff while he was in. We, as Collectors Maze, we flew him in as just to come and hang out with us roughly, because it was just a great experience. We got him in. We did, we watched the movie on Friday. We did signings and pictures and stuff on Saturday. And then we went down to the arcade on Sunday here in Wichita and did you got to play against him on the actual Mortal Kombat arcade game and do videos we did video clips, that you could see through the arcade because he was recording. Great guy there, Mike. And we did, signings and pictures and stuff like that. But it's just a great experience and a great weekend. With all those experiences so far with roughly those 3 live events, to further pretty much the exposure of letting others know about Collectors Maze, we actually started and now am having a convention. It's a gaming experience convention this next year, October 7th through the 9th of 2022 here in Wichita at the Century 2, with our vast reach outs and great friends, Gavin Hammond, Nikki Rapp, Melissa Hutchinson, Daniel Pesina, and roughly 18 others. We've got a 20+ guest list coming in that are just great friends of ours. And we're having just a roughly a promotional convention, if you want to look at it, just to give Wichita something that we've never seen per se here as far as that game level, but we're reaching out and we are teaming up with Midwest Esports and having a huge gaming tournament going on. We'll have photo booths and we'll have the panel area. We'll have the regular, we'll have a cosplay contest. Our friends from League of Enchantment, which we've interviewed, Katie and Seamus, awesome people. They do incredible work on their community and their charity work. Their expansion on just who they are is just phenomenal to watch. They're coming out to be judges for our cosplay contest. So the 2 heads of League of Enchantment are coming out to hang out with us and get to see all these great cosplays coming across the stage and stuff. As long as you don't have any plank walking, I'd be good to go. Yeah. No, nothing on that end. We're definitely, just like our website, we're very geared towards a family environment and doing stuff. We'll have raffles out that we're gonna have going and stuff. And this is all on us. We're not even from the website in general. There's no sponsorship that we have coming in. This is just something that we love. It's what I've loved so much, and my wife helps out a lot on what we do, and we've got great people that are local that are like Jeremy Webster, and we got Bill that comes in and does these interviews with all these people that we get to talk to. My mom's you'll see my mom actually in a bunch of the interview videos. She was the original one that did like Jeffrey Blake and Daniel Pesina. We did Sam Humphrey from The Greatest Showman. We we've got to talk to these amazing people. And I think the cooler part about it is because I literally get to geek out every day. So, but it's like, for us, it's, for the kids and stuff. So I know there's going to be definitely some really cool events that we're going to have, and like little games and stuff at this convention this next year. But we've got this great team WWSD podcast that we per se sponsor, but we really collaborate a lot with, that have done interviews with some of our people as well. Seamus and Josh are amazing guys. They're all over the place now. It's kind of great to see. But we've collaborated with them on a few of our guest deals, and we work very well hand in hand with roughly those that just want to have fun. It's a volunteer process on everybody's part, just to kind of enjoy, to provide some material and just get that time to laugh and get to talk to your, idols in a way. Cause getting Mike Zapkick from Comic Book Men was one of the coolest things. Like, I literally talked to him on the phone. I was like, "Hey, Mike, am I
Oh
right?
my gosh. No, you haven't.
That's not what
I'm so jealous. Holy crap.
That
Oh
is
my
not what
God.
you said when you were muted.
No, it's not.
I read
Greg,
those lips when you were muted.
Greg, it's what I'm saying now, okay? Like, what I'm saying now is what matters, okay? Like, oh my God. He is like one of those, like, I talked to Greg about, the Comic Man, and
Right.
it was one of those where Greg's like, I don't really know. I'm like, oh my God, these people are like the one people that would probably like stop my heart. Oh my gosh. Like, it's, oh my God. Like, I'm so happy for you, but I'm also envious and jealous, but I'm going to lead with happy for you, because that's amazing. But, it's just, oh man. So you've met some like incredible people, and from what I can hear, and I feel like I know you, man. I feel like we're BFFs. Like, I feel like that with everybody. But I feel like you like started this whole thing just as like an organization for you and your friends that are also nerds to like just geek out together and enjoy and have fun and embrace being a nerd, right? And it really like comes across, because the way that you're talking is, it's like very family focused and friendly, and very cognizant of families with little kids, like kids of all ages, right? Which you don't always get at Comic Cons or esport events, right? I mean, like I said, my kids are 2 and 1, but I feel like my kids would also like this event, and I am all about virtual. Okay, like virtual is pretty much my middle name. I do everything virtual because it's just too peoply out in the world for me. But man, just listening to you talk. And like you talk about these people as if they're just so casual, like they're just your BFFs, and I would be like, oh my gosh, guess who I just talked to, but it's just, you're so passionate about it. And it's something that I really admire. And Greg, I'm so glad that you came on, and as like awful as I sound, I'm so glad that I came on, because like, I feel like for me, like when you talk to all these, Comic-Con creators or whatever, sometimes that's lacking. And I feel like you kind of like renewed that for me, just the passion that you have. And you're just like, no, I'm just a huge nerd, and my friends are nerds, and we're just going to let everyone know that we're nerds. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's relatable. And so, man, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you and jealous that you talked to him though. Like that's, oh man.
I kid you not. When I first started, and I was like, hey, we're gonna do interviews. Who wants to do interviews and stuff like that? My mom chimes in, goes, I'll help where I can, and stuff like that. And she's been such a great support. My wife has been the utmost support, because I can tell you, she hears everything. Like my excitement about who I just talked to, or hey, check out this person, check out this work. She hears it all. So trust me, she's like the best support ever, because
wonderful.
she deals with me. But yeah,
I'm not going to argue. My wife's that way when I say, "Oh my God, guess who I'm getting on the show?" It's like I tell her, and it's like, and I have to wait to tell everybody else, but it's like she knows.
It's okay. Sometimes you tell me and I don't really know. So it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm
She
excited
knows a little bit more.
I know, man. I'm sure that's just my age, right? But I mean, oh my gosh. Like, yeah, I definitely like your wife is probably like a huge saint, because she supports you in all of your endeavors and stuff. But being a wife myself, I claim myself to be, wife of the year every day just because it's funny. So I'm sure that she is like actually wife of the year, hands down. So I think that's incredible that you have like a support system and stuff like that.
Well, and the better part is that she helps my ideas advance. I mean, she hears what I hear, as far as saying and stuff like that to her. And then she got us looking at Kickstarter. She actually sent me, stuff last night on a Kickstarter she found for this great book that's being made. And she helps provide. She's done some of the interviews, written interviews. She's done a lot of the reach outs. She followed Patel's Handmade crochet people on Facebook and was like, hey, you should really get this person on your site. I was like, perfect. That's right up our alley. Those are the people that we want to constantly showcase. And that the community in itself it's huge. I mean, it really is. Yeah. If you really just step out and put yourself out there and say, hey, I'm a geek. I'm a guy that likes this, or I'm a girl that likes that, whatever the case is. And you just step out and you reach out and you just say it. You find out that the comeback and the feedback instantly is just like, we are too. And it's just, it's a huge community that just, it's loving people that just, they admire other people's work and they're not afraid to say it. And it's just to have Collector's Maze as a venue, as an option to say, who else can see my work? Who else can do their visitors, just skim through their website and check out their cosplayers. And I mean, the list goes on as far as the pages, and I love it. I mean, it's just, we try to, throw one person per day on and promote and showcase. And then, they're up on the site. They're not going to be away from the site. They're always there. Whatever category we have for them and everything else, the kids stuff is up there. It's just, it's great to be able to talk to these people for sure. And yeah, it is kind of funny that I can like spout out names at this point. And it's like, Howard Berger, another, I mean, we just, the list is endless on these amazing people we've talked to. And then I kid you not, my wife looks at me and I was like, guess who just said yes? And she said, who? It's like, Pacina's coming out. He wants to come out and hang out with us. Dominic Pace is coming back around again for another, Howard Berger, he said yes, all Jeffrey Blakeson, we got these cool comic creators. Mike Zapkick, my wife was watching me. We were watching Comic Book Men together. So she started knowing these people as well. And as soon as I said, Mike said yes, and I talked to him on the phone, she's like, really? I was like, yeah. And she just
saw. Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, trust me, I'm still like fanboying all the time.
Right? Oh my gosh, yes. I feel like that's how I am. Like, oh my gosh, that's just insane. But I love it. So your wife is like your number one fan and supporter. And I love that. Like, she's your number one nerd fan. And I think that is fantastic, But oh my gosh, I would have been like, if I was her, and you had told me that the, Comic Book Men was coming on, I would have probably sounded like this after screaming, like, oh my gosh, like, oh man, crazy. But that's awesome. I mean, like, you're the support system and everything, but it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just so refreshing to hear like the passion and how successful it's been in a year, I guess a little over a year.
Yeah.
And it really just all started because you guys just wanted to get together and let people know that you were nerds, like, I love that. And that's such an amazing, for me, that's such an amazing story because I'm new to the whole comic con scene and stuff, not new to like reading them or anything, but going to them. Right. And they are the most welcoming people, virtual or in person. They really are. And yeah, they can get into some heated discussions if it's like, they don't agree on like this character or whatever. But
Right.
at the end, they're still friends. And I think like that is what is so fantastic, is it like doesn't end friendships or anything. But the coolest part to me is the cosplay. And
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
seen a cosplay competition. And then Greg took me to record one in Beaumont. And oh my gosh, it was everything I thought and more. Because
Yeah.
it was just like, I don't know. I would think these people would dress up, and then it was just like, oh, let me tell you why I dress up this way. No, these people are like full bodied in characters. I was scared at some point for some of them. I was like, I don't know if you're gonna kill me like the character does. Like, what's going on, you know? And
Right.
I don't know. I'm one of those, I like to be scared sometimes and stuff. But it was just incredible to see all these people come out and fully embrace their character. And it was like just totally accepted and welcome and like expected at a Comic-Con or
Yeah.
anything. And I think that's the coolest thing in the whole world. Is like it's so accepting. But I also know that you do some cool things getting books into children's hands. So can you tell us a little bit about that and how that kind of came about? Because not very many do that. And so that's pretty awesome.
So I have 5 kids in the house, and so and with my wife, there's a lot of reading that goes on for sure. And it was just a matter of what else can we do? What other kind of projects can we actually have and stuff? And it was definitely it was a lot of ideas that kind of came through, and we're like, what about comic books? What? Because of course I've got hundreds and hundreds of comics books in my collection. It's like, what if we were handing out comic books? It's like, well, why not just comic books? Why don't we do kids books? Reading actual chapter reading books. And so as soon as that was pretty much like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We instantly started hitting, Facebook Marketplace, looking for people just giving away free books that we could then take, look through, make sure that they're appropriate, clean them up, whatever the case may be, and having them be able to then, as we were, discussing, just be able to ship, send them, box them up. We got these incredible boxes from a buddy of mine that was doing a huge warehouse kind of liquidation sale per se, and so we've got pallets. I ended up buying 2 full pallets of these like huge boxes that just they hold about at least 20 to 30 books, depending on which ones you put in there. We started filling up the boxes, and it's like, okay, where can we ship these? And so we were getting ideas, and we had, some of the people that were already on our team at that point saying, well, I know of some teachers, that are in California or that are local in Kansas or whatever the case is. Or I know this family that has this many kids that would probably love a box, or, it just kind of started out with recommendations. And then, like I said, when it came to how else can we get these books out? Because at one donation, literally taking this great church that bought this elementary school, and we walk in, and there's banquet tables full of books that they're like, well, these are yours. And it's like, hold on, what? So taking 2 full carloads and thousands of these books away to do what we do was phenomenal. It was just, we were so blessed to have them come so early in our process, nonetheless, to build up our inventory so quickly that we could then, like I said, throw a bunch of books in a box based off of like the age range genres of interest and stuff, and then be able to ship them out. So we promote reading across the board. I mean, it's for our household alone, it's a passion for a lot of them. And then just kind of the easiest way, I guess you could say, for us to, at that time, quickly give back to the community that we, it's like, just, it wasn't more of a saying, hey, we're here. It's more like, this is what we have to offer. This is what we have, something that we're very capable of doing, that we have the means of doing, and that we can get, kids books, just what could we do? And reading is the huge push for us. So
I love that, man. I think that's great. Greg, go.
I'm going to add to that real quick. I'm going to do an author challenge for young adults and lower.
Okay.
I'm going to send you 10 books. After the show, I want you to give me an address, but I am going to send you 10 books of mine. And I'm going to send them to you, and they'll be signed. And I want the authors who are listening, especially for children, young adults, because this is a good program, to take my challenge and send y'all some books as well to get to these children.
Well, we would definitely love that. Yeah, it's the community that we've had, you know, like that church, for instance. I mean, it was banquet tables. I mean, I kid you not, it was probably 14, 16, 20 banquet tables stacked up that they just, at that point, at the end of their weekend sale, was just like, these are yours. And it's like, that helped so much. We've done a lot of, again, Facebook Marketplace seems to be a really great avenue by all means, but we found a lot of families getting rid of books. So, and then just donating to our cause, either after they couldn't sell them, you know, through the means of what they were trying to get out of them, or just literally at that very moment when I've messaged, said, well, they're yours. If you want them, I'll leave them on the front porch. And my wife's done and picked up. We've had some library donations locally that have really helped contribute. I know that I think that's the best part about on finding that as well, is that you find once people know your cause, that there's a very good understanding, a good following to do the same, to contribute to that. And even if it's not a means of them taking the books and then handing them off to kids themselves, but knowing that we're at least around, and we do that across the nation and within the U.S., it's great to know that there's a lot of support on that side as well. It's a great feeling to know the next box is going out, or to set up at the next table and to have these kids like light up because there's the characters that they remember or they love, but they don't have a book of, and they're grabbing. I think, in all honesty, the parents are the ones that do it for me all the time, because whether it's fumbling through these stacks of books at our tables and stuff like that, they remember these stories from when they're younger, because we've had, you know, a huge range from newer to very old books, donated stuff. So getting some of these really old classics sitting on the table, they're like, oh, are you okay if I take this one? I was like, yeah, absolutely. You know, it's like, this was from my childhood. And it's like, even connecting on those levels have been really rewarding to see. And then just people lighting up, because I mean, they take you somewhere. Those stories have been a part of your life, and they've been a part, no matter where you are from childhood to the adulthood. And that experience is never lost. And to pick up that book again, I think it's just phenomenal to watch these people reminisce, you know, and to remember this stuff. And then they want to pass it on to their kids. So it's like they're showing the book to their kid going, I read this when I was your age. and then they get to go home and they get to read it together. It's just, yeah, you can't fake that enjoyment on that face. You know, you can't. Yeah. It's great to see that.
See, and I love that, because I had called my mother, I don't know, maybe last month, a couple weeks ago. I called her and I asked her if she had any of the books from when we were little. You know, like we used to have long shelves of books. And there was one in particular I was looking for. And she was like, I think I have some of them. And I loved that book as a child. And so I wanted it to read to my kids. And it was crazy. I think it was like Little Bear or something, but the cover was like furry, you know, so I just feel the cover all the time, you know?
Right.
And I remember that book from when I was little. And, you know, from a parent perspective, like I want to share that with my kids, but mostly I want to hold the book on my own, you know, and rub it, because I was like, this was so nice, you know? So it's, man, I think that's we don't hear that very often about, you know, you're just collecting them and giving back to families and kids and stuff. And in a positive way, you know, in pushing reading and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean, man, you're doing some amazing, amazing stuff. And I am 100% like Greg knows, but I work with a ton of authors
Mhm.
and I know a lot of publishers and they also have a ton of authors. So I will definitely spread your message and see how many books we can collectively send for you guys, you know, to put into your boxes and stuff and just, you know, to help out and expand because we have anywhere from young adult to fantasy, kid books, graphic novels, you know, all kinds of stuff. So I'll definitely be in touch with all of my contacts to do this because it's an amazing thing. So Greg, I will take you up on your author challenge. Okay.
She's going to outdo me with all these others.
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm thinking of like 15 that I could at least get 10 copies of each book. I mean, at least. So
See?
I have some amazing, amazing people that I work with. But no, I mean, it's just, man, I'm just telling you, the passion that you have for all of this stuff
Yes.
is just like radiating, and it's so nice and refreshing, you know, after the time that Greg has had in the hospital with his wife and then me sounding like a dead fish on a stick, you know, I'm just so grateful that you came on today. Like, it's just, man, talk about being
It's
grateful. Greg didn't even ask me, but he is why I'm grateful. Okay. Like, he's just amazing. He gives me hope in people. You give me hope in people, man. I love it.
it, I mean, it's a great program. I mean, how can you not, being an author, especially young adult or children's, how can you not want to do something like this? Because not only does it get word out for you, but it for a great cause in that itself. And your inspiration with everything, with the conventions, the gaming part, the cosplay, the books. I mean, it's all together in one, and it's like Amy says, it just radiates. And
Telling you, you're my new favorite person, man. You kind of filled that fate when you talk to the comic book people. You kind of filled that fate right there. But you know, then you added all this other stuff too, and it just like it's just welded together. Okay, like you're definitely my people, 100%. Like it's my favorite show of the entire year. Greg is this show right here.
There we go.
I've never said that. You can ask Greg.
No.
I've never said that, but this is like hands down. Not even the show that I'm going to be on. Okay, like this is definitely my favorite show. 100%, man. Like I just love everything that you're doing and supporting. And I'm like, I don't know, Greg. I'm gonna have to email you afterwards to see how I can help support you in all of your endeavors because this is definitely amazing. 100% favorite.
Well, and we definitely, I mean, that's the big part. We truly, I mean, to get one person seen, to get one person to share, I mean, it just means so much, and that really it lifts my heart. It's not just the work that we put into what we're doing and to see the reward of just a share or whatever. It's literally the fact that someone took the time and enjoyed what we do. They enjoyed and to know that our process of the books or the convention online, the fact that we promote, you know, there's people. I remember there was a cosplayer and an awesome guy. His work was phenomenal. He did this Beast from the X-Men, and he was just reading a book, Colby. And I messaged him. I was like, man, you have phenomenal work. I would love if you were to be on our website. And the day after he said yes, of course. The day after we posted him, he goes, I can't thank you enough. Yesterday was my birthday, and this meant the world to me. And it was my acknowledgement of his work, and then putting it, let alone on just the website alone, that meant so much to him that it's like, you don't know what it meant to me. It was like you said yes to being a part of what we do. And that in itself is just, every yes I get is just it's not really a sigh of relief. It's a huge like smile of enjoyment. It's like, it's a happy moment for every time there's those opportunities for us to showcase somebody else's work, to be able to talk and do these interviews with these independent comics, the ones that are working on their books, the authors, the cosplayers that put so much heart and soul and blood and sweat and so much time into their craft. It's just, we see it. I see it. We get those moments and we see these people, and it's like, let's give the opportunity to let someone else see it. What can we do? And that's exactly what Collector's Maze is. It's a huge hobby for us, to get on. Like I said, it's us. There's no sponsorships. There's no back, funding, nothing like that. We don't have storefronts. We don't do anything. We literally are just out there to promote those that we already love seeing and giving it away to show others. And it's just, it really means a lot to us.
And I think that's what makes Collector's Maze different than any of the other ones, right? Is you don't have sponsors. You don't have any of that. You're literally just doing it because you guys love it and to support others. And I think that is something to be noted. And I think that's something to be proud about and just excited about, because that's not the reason people do things anymore, right? And I think that is definitely what makes you guys different. And I think that's what makes you guys successful in what you're doing, because it really is about everybody else and just giving them a platform. And I think that is, something that is just, I mean, it's just amazing. There's no other word for it, and I think that's something that you should definitely be proud of. And the success that you had is well-deserved, because you're bringing success for other people. And I think that's incredible. And so I'm just, favorite show, Greg, favorite show freaking year, man, is this show right here. Like, it's just hands down. It really is. I mean, all the other ones are great, but this is my favorite show.
We're going to have to come up with something where we have like our favorites and just do segments and
it's just this show, man. Like, we just need to air this show. Like, it's flat out. Like, there's no competition. Okay, it's this one right here, 100%. At least not for me. I guess we have to vote, but I mean, one of those things we have to vote on it.
I definitely appreciate it.
See, yeah, he thinks this is the favorite show too. You're outnumbered, Greg.
What can I say? But anyway, we do want to thank you for being on our show. We definitely loved having you on here. We learned quite a bit. Each time we have a show, we learn.
Yeah.
And I do want to say, I think next Tuesday, we actually have Black Hills Comic-Con coming on. That's the 16th. I'm sure that's Tuesday. And then on the 19th, we have Samantha Newark, who is the voice actress of Jim from Jim and the Holograms back in the 90s. So we look forward to having her on our show. We look forward to having actually everybody on our show, but great getting some celebrities on here and talking about their craft and how they got into it, which I love doing.
Yeah.
And then maybe next week, well, the weekend, I know I have the Texas Ren Fest where I'll be doing interviews there, which I'm going to have fun at that. Even though Amy couldn't get her phone working, I'll get mine working somehow.
Hey, yet again, I feel the need to defend myself. It was my first time going, and I no longer walked in the door and turned some kind of turn, and I was lost, man. Like, I was lost. And I had my little kids right on. I was not prepared to, I didn't know what I was jumping into, and I brought my kids in not a stroller. I was going to let them roam. Oh my gosh, my mother radar went off, and I was like, this is not a safe place for my kids. Like, I'm going to lose my kid. So it was just I don't know. That was my huge epic mom fail of the year, was that going to that event, mom fail of the year. Okay. So I don't feel bad about it. And I was lost. I was lost and scared.
Just to give you an idea, if you've ever been to Epcot Center or Disney World, it's practically that size. It's 80 acres, and it's nothing but Renaissance Festival. So, yes, you can get lost there if you've never been.
I'm telling you, I was lost and panicked and just Mom, I told you, the sum up that day was mom fail of the year. That's the biggest mom fail I've had, and I'm all about mom fails, okay? 100%. We fail every day. But this was one of those where I was like, ooh, man, like, I gotta go. Like, I don't know where to go, but I need to leave somehow. I don't have signal. If something happens to me, I don't have a way of contacting people. It was just, I was overwhelmed and I handled it very well, I feel like. So whatever, Greg.
Oh, but I finally get to give you hell about something.
Whatever. I hope people throw stuff at you to get your attention. Okay. I hope they do. I hope people take me up on that offer and they throw stuff at you. Okay. God, whatever, Greg.
I'll be hiding behind the cameraman.
That's you, Greg. You are the cameraman.
No,
You
I
can't
have a
hide
camera
from
person
yourself.
coming. I have
Who?
a camera person coming. My dad. My
Oh,
stepmother.
I thought it was
That
your
way-
son. I was
that
like,
way-
I would hide behind your son too. Like, yes, definitely. I would. I would
That
feel
way-
safe.
That way, once one's had enough drinks, I can get the other one to start filming.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god.
Because I'm probably going to be slurring on some of these interviews after
Oh
the
my
last
gosh.
after
Greg,
the
it's
last
just
three
gonna be-
that I've had. I deserve it.
It's gonna be a huge it's gonna be a huge drunk fest of videos. Like there's none that's gonna be like watchable, man. Like, oh my gosh. No, man. Just pull an Amy and freak out and leave.
what we're following with the camera.
Oh my gosh. All you're gonna see are their feet, and then you're gonna hear some stupid drunk conversation, and you're gonna be like, they probably thought this was a really intelligent conversation. And you're gonna look back and be like, what the hell were we saying? Okay, like I feel strongly that that's going to happen. So I encourage everyone to video Greg if you see him there, or to throw stuff at him and send it to me in an email, Facebook message. Hell, if you want my phone number, I will give it to you for you to send me these videos. Okay, like I'm dying to I need blackmail material on Greg. Okay, I can't use my name spelling anymore. Like I kind of wore that out. I need something else. Send me something, man. Send me something. I'm gonna get it.
But we will be announcing what we have planned for December pretty soon, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it. I know I'll wait until next week, maybe the end of next week, to announce that. Maybe
right before Thanksgiving.
No, I think right after. I think Black Friday would be a good time.
Oh my gosh, man.
That way, I mean, a lot of people stay home. They don't do shopping on Black Friday.
Hey,
and if they do, they do it online nowadays.
Do you do Black Friday shopping?
We do. I mean, we do a lot of online for sure. There's a lot of Amazon packages that get dropped off all the time. But yeah, I mean, we usually go out, and for the most part, I think we pick up more like DVDs at that point. We don't really fill up the basket with much because for the most part, all the rest of the stuff's already getting shipped in. So
well, I mean,
there we go.
True.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We don't get up early. I tell you that we were not up. I always have to work on the day, so it's more like we have the Thanksgiving. I'm at the work, and then after in the evening when I'm off, we'll step out and see kind of like the stragglers of what's left. And again, movies is kind of like we can go pick up a few of those, the Walmart specials or the Target specials and stuff. So
yeah. See, but you say you had to get up early. In my household, I grew up with girls. Okay, I have all sisters. In my household, there wasn't getting up. We were staying up all night in line to get stuff. Okay, like I can't do that now. Like now, it's like, dude, I'm doing good to make it till 11. Like I can't pull an all-nighter anymore. Okay, I can't do it. But I was gonna say a lot of the Black Friday specials are already happening while people have those things in stock because they are worried they may not have them on Black Friday. So it'll be interesting to see how Black Friday plays out this year. But I have done Black Friday shopping. I have not gotten up early. I've stayed up. Okay, I've stayed up, and I'm just going to bed when people are getting up to go out. So, in my younger days. Now it's all Amazon. It's just easier. Okay, Amazon. Unless I want to go look at like the little boutiques and the like small businesses and stuff. I like looking at those because you find like little like trinkets and stuff that you can't get on Amazon, I guess.
Yeah.
But
more,
I mean,
it's the craft peoples.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Or like the Christmas holiday markets. Oh, those have my names all over it. Okay. Like I just like going and walking and talking to the people. I don't know. That's the only people-y that I get. Okay. But No, I guess you could do it then. It's a busy time of year for me, Greg.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you got to throw Black Friday in there. Come on, man.
Well,
I'm doing good to know what to get my kids for
your
Christmas.
busiest time of year is going to be December 1st.
Amen.
Well, but we'll talk about that on
It's yeah,
Saturday
like
after Thanksgiving.
dude, it's starting now. Like I don't even know what you're talking about, man. Yeah, it's a busy
we'll
time of
talk-
year for everybody.
Our show's going to help cover that and get you some
Oh no, I'm
visibility.
talking about it's just a busy time for everybody, man. So I don't know why you got to make people wait till after Thanksgiving to announce your December lineup.
It's an early Christmas gift. I mean, think about it. I mean, not now. Just going with the later after, like get the Thanksgiving part over and then reveal the big surprise. I get you. I'm with you.
Oh man,
So,
you're not supposed to side with Greg. Dude. You can't side with Greg. That's
of course,
wrong.
you just realized you're not her favorite show anymore.
Yeah, no, he is. I'm not
Well,
even
and
gonna lie.
about that, on the reverse side, no.
No, I'm not that fickle. I'm not that fickle.
Now, I will say for as the wife fully knows, we have 7 people in the house, and we still have a Great Dane, and we still have a cat. So there's 9 bodies in the house, and if we do not do Black Friday shopping, there's just there's no means for us to try to do it any other time. We have to take those savings where we can. So yeah, we definitely do the shopping as close to that as possible. So
I get it, man. I totally understand 100%.
But
For sure.
yes, I do have a lot going on today. I got to finish up. I got to get prepared for my wife to be here tomorrow, get stuff coming in today, setting up. So I do want to wish everybody a very happy weekend. And we will see you on Tuesday with Black Hills Con. And then on the 19th, we will have Samantha Newark on here. Can't wait to speak with her. And then over the weekend, Texas Ren Fest for me. In the meantime, like I said, great weekend and adio, everyone. Y'all have a